Hello, my name is Jennifer Millen, and I'm going to talk about the various challenges special collections libraries and archives face in digitizing their materials. In the following presentation, I'm going to discuss the history of digitization within special collections, why it is important to digitize materials, the various challenges these libraries face when choosing to digitize, and will conclude with some theories on what the future holds for special collections libraries. Digitization in special collections is not something new. Starting in 1990, the Library of Congress started a Special Collections Library Pilot Program, and only 4 years later, they established the National Digital Library Program, which is now the American Memory Project. As of 2012, nearly every academic library in the United States had some digital content available on their website from their special collections. Why digitize? According to Peter Hurdle from the article, The Impact of Digitization on Special Collections in Libraries, digitizing special collections can increase use of the materials. It can make new forms of research possible that couldn't normally be done with often fragile or rare collections, and it also can attract new kinds of users that wouldn't normally visit a special collection in person. In the following slides, I'm going to discuss 4 digitization challenges: cost, selecting materials to digitize, legal issues, and finally, born digital content. The first digitization issue special collections libraries face is the cost. Cost can include staff need, vendor services, equipment and supplies, creating metadata for the materials, image capture and scanning, which often is a third of the entire cost of the digitization project, and digital preservation. The second challenge is selecting what materials to digitize. The first thing that needs to be considered is whether a material can be digitized in the first place. Some items are too fragile or may be damaged in the process of digitization. Some items may require restoration or repair beforehand. Other factors to consider when selecting materials for digitization includes the item's archival importance. Does it have historical, cultural, or intellectual value? Is it rare or unique? User demand is another factor. Who will be accessing the material? Are they a group of users that are likely to utilize technology to look at a special collection? How will the materials be presented in a digital format? Navigational tools and user interface need to be considered. Another factor to be considered is whether or not the material's value will be enhanced by it being converted to a digital format. Some examples of how digitization could enhance the value of an item is that with rare or deteriorating materials, digitization can extend its lifespan, protect it from theft, or even allow it to be utilized or examined in ways that wouldn't be possible with the physical object without risking damage to it. Lastly, before digitizing, it should also be determined whether an acceptable digital copy exists elsewhere. This can save time and money to an organization by avoiding unnecessary or redundant work. The third challenge is legal considerations. This can include lack of clarity over what constitutes fair use, restrictive donor agreements that deny libraries the right to reproduce the material, determining whether a copyright has been issued on unpublished works, determining what the usage rights are on foreign publications, privacy issues, and publishing content that may be offensive to users. Developing a rights management policy is extremely important for special collections that are going to make any part of their collection digital, and this can be a rather confusing process. It is important that the policy include information on use, access, takedown procedures, and permissions. The fourth and final challenge that I will discuss is the growing problem of born digital content. Born digital content is material that was created in digital form and can include items such as digital photographs and video, computer files, emails, social media posts, and much more. One of the biggest problems with this kind of content is its potential for overload. As of 2012, the number of digital holdings in the U.S. National Archives was growing 100 times faster than their print counterparts. Because of this rapid growth and the complex nature of digital files, it requires a different management strategy than with analog files. Another challenge is creating metadata for new documents so that they can be accessed. This can be a very time-consuming process. Digital preservation is also a challenge. There is already a massive backlog of materials that go back 30 years that need to be converted to current formats. This is especially challenging when more and more data is being created every day. Knowing not only what items are preservation worthy, but also what is the best format to save an item on that will be accessible in the long term seems to be an impossible task. Despite the many challenges facing special collections, libraries, and archives today, there is no indication that they are going anywhere anytime soon. In the article, Toward a Notion of the Archive of the Future, Impressions of Practice by Librarians, Archivists, and Digital Humanities Scholars, the authors propose some future trends they foresee for the Special Collections Library. This includes special collections librarians taking on a hybrid role of librarian, archivist, and scholar. Another trend is an increase in born digital content, thus creating a need for people to curate and preserve it. There will also be an increase in collaboration among different organizations to preserve and publish their materials online. There will be an increase in open access to digital content. And finally, there will be a more active community of users becoming involved with everything that makes a special collection special, telling a story of our community's heritage, wherever that community may be.